Ming Lo Moves the Mountain by Arnold Lobel. Ming Lo and his wife lived in a house at the bottom of a large mountain. They loved their house, but they did not love their mountain. I like the art in this book. Rocks and stones broke loose from the cliffs, and they dropped down onto the house of Ming Lo. The roof was full of holes. Clouds formed on the top of the mountain. Heavy rain fell from the clouds onto this roof that was full of holes. The rooms inside were damp and drippy. When the sun did shine, it never warmed the house of Ming Lo. The mountain always cast a dark shadow. The flowers and vegetables in the garden grew thin and sparse. "This mountain brings us nothing but unhappiness," said the wife of Ming Lo. "Husband, you must move the mountain so that we may enjoy our house in peace." "My dear wife," said Ming Lo, "how can one small man such as I move a large mountain such as this?" "How should I know?" said his wife. "There is a wise man who lives in the village. Go ask him." Ming Lo hurried to the village. When he found the wise man, he said, "I want to move the mountain that is near my house." Well, the wise man thought for a long time, and wisps of smoke curled from his pipe. And finally he said, "Go home, Ming Lo. Cut down the tallest, thickest tree you can find. Push this tree against the side of the mountain with all your strength. This is the way you will move the mountain." Ming Lo ran home, and he cut down the tallest, thickest tree that he could find. Ming Lo and his wife held tightly to that tree, and running as fast as they could, they pushed the tree against the side of the mountain. The tree split in half, and Ming Lo and his wife fell on their heads. The mountain did not move an inch. "Go back to the wise man," said the wife of Ming Lo. "Ask him to think of another way to move the mountain." Again, the wise man thought for a long time, and rings of smoke blew from his pipe. Finally, he said, "Go home, Ming Lo. Take the pots and pans from your kitchen. Hold a spoon in each one of your hands, and with these spoons, hit the pots and pans as hard as you can. Raise your voice in loud shouts and cries. The mountain will be frightened by the noise. That is the way you will move the mountain." Ming Lo ran home, and he took the pots and pans from his kitchen. Ming Lo and his wife held a spoon in each one of their 4 hands, and they shouted and cried, and they hit the pots and pans as loud as they could. They made a great noise. Flocks of birds flew out of the trees, but the mountain did not move at all. "Go back to the wise man," said the wife of Ming Lo. "We must find a way to move the mountain." Ming Lo watched as the wise man thought for a very long time. Clouds of smoke billowed from his pipe. Finally, he said, "Go home, Ming Lo. Bake many cakes and loaves of bread. Bring these to the spirit who lives at the top of the mountain. The spirit is always hungry. He will be happy to receive your gifts, and he will grant your every wish. This is the way you will move the mountain." Ming Lo ran home, and with his wife, he baked platters of cakes and baskets of bread. Together, they began the steep climb to the top of the mountain where the spirit lived. They felt a strong wind as they struggled up the high cliffs, and it whistled and howled. Soon the air was filled with flying cakes and loaves of bread, and there was nothing left for the spirit of the mountain, and the mountain did not move. Without waiting for his wife to say a word, Ming Lo went quickly back to the wise man. "Help me to move this mountain so I may enjoy my house in peace," cried Ming Lo, and the wise man sat in deep thought for a long, long time. There was so much smoke coming from his pipe that he could barely be seen. And finally he said, "Go home, Ming Lo. Take your house apart, stick by stick. Gather all those sticks that are pieces of your house. Collect all of the things that are your possessions. Bind everything into bundles with rope and twine, and carry these bundles in your arms and on the top of your head. face the mountain and close your eyes. Having done all this, you will step to the dance of the moving mountain. You will put your left foot in a place that is in back of your right foot. Then you will put your right foot in a place in back of your left foot. And you must do this again and again for many hours. And when you open your eyes, you will see the mountain has moved far away. Well, that is a strange dance, said Ming Lo, but if it makes the mountain move, I'll do it at once. So Ming Lo ran home, and he took his house apart stick by stick, and he gathered all of the sticks and collected all of the things that were his possessions. Ming Lo and his wife bound everything into bundles with rope and twine. They carried the bundles in their arms and on tops of their heads. Then Ming Lo showed his wife how to do the dance of the moving mountain. They faced the mountain and closed their eyes, and carefully they began to move their feet to the steps of the dance. They put their left foot in a place behind their right foot. Then they put their right foot in a place behind their left foot. And the neighbor saw Ming Lo and his wife walking backwards across the field with all of their possessions. It was an odd sight, and they watched in wonder. After many hours had passed, Ming Lo and his wife opened their eyes. "Look!" cried Ming Lo. "Our dance has done its work. The mountain has moved far away." So stick by stick, they rebuilt their house. They unpacked all of their possessions and made themselves at home. Ming Lo and his wife lived the rest of their lives under an open sky and a warm sun. And when the rain fell, it came down gently on a roof that had no holes. They often looked at the mountain that was small in the distance, and there was happiness in their hearts, for they both knew they had made the mountain move.